Hello, this is Blakey Rat.
And this is Rantis.
Welcome to Robots in the News. We're going to play Dwarfs,
We're gonna
which
watch
is a
Blakey
game that
Rat
Rantis.
pansy out and pick easy
Yeah,
rather than teen
but
hardcore mode.
we were trying to figure out what T-hard means, and we came to the conclusion that T undoubtedly stood for teenager.
That's right.
So this is
People with
this is
lots
an
of
indie
time on their
game.
hands.
This is an indie game I got off Steam in some kind of package deal for really cheap, if I remember right. Actually, I'm not.
You got it with
I don't remember
Killing
how I got it, but I got
Floor
it.
and all the
Oh
other...
yeah, that's right. I bought a package with like some indie publisher had a bunch of games on there. And anyway,
Do you just have
this
one
game
worthless dude like patrolling or something? What's the one blue guy doing?
yeah. Well, I was just about to give like a little overview. So what you're looking at here, this game is not going to be very visually interesting, so I apologize in advance for that. So
Drawn by
this game is
fifth graders.
yeah, it's drawn by fifth graders. No, I don't know. It's kind of okay if you zoom in, but this game is I don't know how to describe it. You kind of wait around and let the AI do most of the work. But the guy that's patrolling around that doghouse, that's actually my home, my dwarf home. And he's my first military dude. Now, as it turns out, his only role is to defend the home, and he's actually quite useless. So I'm going to construct in a few minutes.
So
some
I have a
actual,
question for you.
Castles.
I have a question
Okay.
for you. How do these midgets pick which direction to dig?
It seems to be mostly random, honestly. They go in pretty straight lines.
This guy
but
looks
they
like
just
he's
kinda
about to go into
randomly-
a cavern here.
Yeah, okay, so here's basically the plot of the game, is that you're put in charge of this, enemy minions. You're put in charge of this, this kingdom of dwarves, and, this is not going to be very audibly exciting, too. That's like
I also,
intentional
yeah, I
sound
just
effects you'll
noticed
ever
that
hear.
there are literally no sound effects in this game. Like, no actual sound effects.
If you zoom in all the way, which I think I do later, you can hear their pickaxes, but that's basically, it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
a little, yeah, anyway.
Oh, you can
Anyway,
kinda-
so the AI of the dwarves, yeah, if you've ever played the game Lemmings, you kind of get the concept here, where it's a game where the AI is stupid on purpose, and it's like the plot is that the AI is stupid, and you kind of have to corral people around. So that's what's happening here, is the dwarves will, basically, they go mining, they vaguely look for gold, and that if they see gold, they'll follow the path to gold, but usually they don't even do that, they just kind of go in random directions. And your goal is basically to keep your city alive as long as possible. Now, the dirt is obviously dirt, but each one of those black caves could be one of four things. It could be, well, five things, I guess. It could be nothing. It could be a treasure cave, which is full of gold. I think we saw one of those in the bottom right if you were paying attention a minute ago. It can be full of goblins. Actually, there's six. Anyway, it can be full of goblins. It can be full of water. The water one's annoying. What'll happen if you find a cave full of water is the water will... It's like an infinite river. It'll start flowing out of the water. If the water floods your house, you die.
Let me interrupt
it
you
could be
for a
full of
second
lava.
really quick.
Sure.
I noticed that occasionally when your dwarves are digging, like the guy we just saw there, he gets like a weird like set of wings over his head. Do the dwarves
He's leveling up.
Okay, that's, yeah.
They do, in fact, level up. Yeah. And you can train the warrior ones that are around the temple there, or not the temple, the tower.
Do they dig
Um,
faster when they level up? What's the...
I assume so. I haven't noticed much of a difference.
Mm.
I think they're better at combat, too. Anyway, the last two types, there could be one full of lava, which is exactly the same as water, except for lava will instantly kill dwarves that touch it. And it will burn through walls. You can build walls to block water, but I'll get into that in a second. And then the last type is it could be full of a necromancer, or is it called a necromancer, or a shaman? Well, I don't know. There's an enemy that spawns other enemies. So it's basically like the Goblin Cave, except for if you don't take care of it quickly, they'll just keep coming forever. So each of those different hazards has a way of handling. Obviously, the treasure caves are pretty useless. Oh, and as you can see there, you can actually give your dwarves... Oh, shit. There's a water cave. You can give them directions, and they'll follow the directions. And here's what I'm doing here. So there's a water cave there. The water is piling up behind that wall that I built to block the water. And then I set down a piece of dynamite. And this is kind of an annoying gameplay mechanic, but you have to sacrifice a dwarf to set off the dynamite. Like, they don't have such a thing as fuses. And so he's going to set off the dynamite. It's going to create a hole. Kaboom. And there's no sound effect because I'm zoomed out too far. And now what's going to happen is the water, if the wall goes away, the water would flow into the hole, but I don't think I actually...
Wow, that is
doing it. And so what I'm
extremely
doing now-
expensive.
I know. What I'm doing now is I'm putting undiggable blocks around the water, and that's called making it safe. And once it's impossible for a dwarf, even randomly doing random things to dig into it, you've made it safe and you've conquered the obstacle. So water is one of the, actually the easiest is the goblins that you saw. I already defeated goblins. They basically, you don't have to do anything. So water is one of the easier hazards to handle because it's not like, once you put a wall there, it'll just stay there until the end of time and never actually get dangerous. Lava is the really nasty one because it'll actually burn through the walls in a very quick amount of time. And so now my problem is I don't have enough money to build the undiggable walls around this thing. And so I have to wait for my dwarves to dig out gold so I can build the walls. And that's basically the entire game in a nutshell. You wait for the dwarves to build enough gold so you can make the hazards that they face safe. And then the goal is you play for a predefined amount of time, and the highest score, it's basically a high score competition.
So right now you've been playing for roughly 5.5 minutes.
Upper right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started at 15 minutes, and this video will be 16 minutes and 26 seconds exactly.
Whoa.
And
shocking.
How could I predict that in advance? I don't know.
It's almost like you're a psychic. By the way, I like how the only way to tell the level of the dwarves. The only way to tell the level of the dwarves is zooming way the hell out. Like, they show numbers over there.
I think you can mouse over them, I believe. See that treasure cave? There, I've just made that lake safe. So now my dwarves can never dig into it and kill themselves, no matter how randomly they move.
Oh, you got some like rewards for that of some kind.
Yeah, you get bonuses for that, and then, like I said, you know, it's a competition to get the highest score. You can actually get pretty beefy rewards for destroying. I don't know if you noticed earlier, but I probably got one before for killing the Goblin Cave too. You get, for all the hazards you destroyed, you get awards.
Interesting.
So anyway, this game is, I guess Lemmings is probably, like I said, I think Lemmings is probably the closest gameplay concept to this I've seen. It's actually relatively innovative. Like, it's not something you see a lot. And it's kind of a genre that's pretty rare. The genre where all of your players are kind of idiot AIs and you have to kind of hint to them what to do. And you don't have any direct control. I don't know. What do you call that? I can't think of many games like that. So when you zoom in, you actually get all the sounds.
And they're the worst sound effects ever. You should pretty much never zoom in, ever.
Well, there's no point to ever zooming in. In fact, I usually have it further out than this because, like, the further out zoom, the more you can see. This map is humongous. And especially if you play like the half-hour games, they could dig a long way, a surprisingly long way.
As you can see, this guy's digging to China.
Well, the further you dig away, the more valuable the resources are. I don't know if you noticed just a second ago, but there was diamonds in the lower left of the screen. But you can't get to diamonds until you dig far away.
So those are basically swirly yellow piles of dog poop, right?
The gold looks like dog poop. What are you doing? Stupid dwarf.
Wow.
I had to waste money giving him his... Yeah, it costs money to give him the directions, too, by the way. Everything costs money, really.
Apparently. So now we basically just sit and wait for one of you guys to get in trouble.
Yeah. And you want to... When someone gets in trouble, you want it to be a single dwarf in a long, narrow passage, like with that water guy, so that you can block it up if it turns out to be lava. Ah, treasure. Yay.
Wow, you were getting some good luck. Although, I guess I don't really know what the distribution of...
Okay, there's a Goblin Cave. Let me talk about combat really quick. So I have 4 combat dwarves here. The way you use them, and the reason you need a tower, is that you can launch them out of the tower's cannon to defeat enemies. Which doesn't make sense, because I thought this was a cave.
Yeah...
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't really make sense, does it?
The problem with the dwarves that are hovering around your base is the only way to move them to kill an enemy is basically to draw lines, and that costs like an F-load of money. Oh, there's a lava cave, but it's in a relatively safe place. So, you know, what I do with the lava cave is this is actually the biggest problem here, is I don't have any dwarves nearby to set off the dynamite. But you can see I put a couple walls in front of it that'll delay the lava from coming out. And then I have to get... Oh, there's his level. He's level 3. I have to get this dwarf down and give him directions to walk over the dynamite. And then, you know, make it safe like I did with the water. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of money right now, so I can get pretty far on this. I don't think I can do it all in the first try. The real problem is when you're dealing with one hazard, and what'll happen is you get another hazard that you have to deal with. As you can see, this dwarf is really stupid. Oh, they only follow... One thing also I should mention. When you draw directions, they'll only follow if there's a green arrow. If there's just a dotted line, they won't necessarily follow in the same direction. They'll just go in whatever direction they last were going in.
Do multiple dwarves follow these or something? Because I'm just kind of wondering.
Any dwarf that hits the green arrow will follow it.
That's obnoxious.
There we go. Boom. Made it safe. Luckily, I had tons of money, so that wasn't too hard. And luckily, I didn't hit any other hazards. Usually, the lava is by far the hardest to deal with.
And so we wait.
No, I was going to say, and what you do here is you build towers further away from your core so that you can handle goblins that appear in these further caves, because the cannon that launches them has a limited range. You also get bonus points if you build like 25, I think, warriors. And as you can see, each tower supports 4, if I remember. I think you can upgrade that to 8, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember. Oh, no, the town can build up to 8, but I think the towers can only build up to 4.
So let's go over the UI really quickly here. So, okay, so in the upper left, you have some number 18. What does that correspond to?
I believe that's my number of dwarves.
Just the digger dwarves? Because it says you have 16 out of 20.
Yeah. Oh, no, you said the upper left, right?
Yeah, but there's 19.
The first number is 19. That's my number of diggers. The second is warriors. I have 16, and I can build a maximum of 20.
Gotcha. And then you have money,
and then my
points.
gold, and then my score, and then the time remaining.
Yeah. So if you...
And then it has what I like to call interface dragons, which I'm always a fan of whenever I see it in a game, where your UI will have little mythical creatures that kind of dangle off the edges of it.
They kind of look like the ugliest dog in the world pictures. You know, the like hairless, crested Chinese dog. They're a little...
Hey, should we mention who did the narration for the tutorial?
No, because nobody cares.
I don't care.
But you can mention it.
Okay, and then at the bottom we have the various things I can build.
Since you brought it up.
And I'm going to not lie, but I think spacebar is pause, and I think S is speed up the action. Oh, a shaman. That's the one I was talking about. This guy actually will generate other enemies. But luckily I have plenty of guys in range to kill him. They're pretty tough.
Wow, look at these awesome sound effects and graphics.
Okay, yeah, I know. They aren't terrible graphics. They're serviceable.
The sound effects are the ones that are driving me nuts.
Yeah, they're really repetitive. Yeah, they could have recorded like 3 different pickaxe sounds.
And have them not be quite as ridiculously often. That would be terrific. Anyway, minor things.
Yeah,
as you said.
I think space is pause, and much like Lemmings, had that actually be a picture of a cat's paws or a dog's paws, which I always thought was kind of clever. And then S, I think, is speed up. So if you're bored or whatever, you can speed up, make your dwarves move really fast. I don't think you'd ever do that when you have this many it's already too hard to keep track of them. And then the 2 items in the middle, shift builds a permanent wall, and control builds, I don't remember.
Something.
Yeah.
Why is there an arrow that's just like slightly pointing the wrong direction in between them?
I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I knew what that arrow indicates.
Awesome.
Okay, I just got a bonus for having 50 minerals.
You win.
Oh, another thing you can notice is that your town hall... Yeah, by the way, the town hall population for soldiers is 8 instead of 4 like the towers. And that's why my number of soldiers is 20 out of 24, because I only built 4 at the town hall.
Gotcha.
The town hall, the green grass around it will actually expand the longer you play. I don't think that's relevant to anything. I don't think the grass does anything.
No, it is. It's the patrol perimeter of like there.
It's the creep.
No, it's
Is it really?
Yeah, cool, because look where they are. They're like right on the edge of the grass.
You're noticing... See, I only have a minute and 37 seconds left. I'm building a tower for, like, no reason. I'm almost done.
Oh, my goodness. What will happen?
If you encounter, like, a lava... Well, I found from experience that if you encounter, like, a lava or a water cave when you only have, like, a minute left, you might as well just let it flow out, not even bother trying to cap it, because it takes that long for the water to flow to your base. It flows really slowly. I think what I'm going to do, if I remember right,
it's more of a
minute, I think I build another...
than a river.
Yeah, it flows. I don't know where it's coming from, but whatever. If I remember right, and it's been a while since I played this round that we're watching, I think... Oh yeah, let's get some diamonds in the last minute here. Those are worth a lot of money.
Okay, those look like spiny shells from Mario. Lots of
let's see your
ones.
game graphics.
Oh.
Huh? 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 Thought so.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh look, a treasure cave at the last minute.
Boosting your score
okay,
up.
I thought I was...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, but I think I missed an opportunity.
There's a lava cave.
If I built enough tower...
No.
it's nothing.
It's a nothing
if I
cave.
built another tower, and I think train just one more soldier, I can get the 25 soldier bonus. If I remember right, it's 25. So I missed that opportunity there. But I could be wrong. Anyway, you can see this is kind of boring. I'm just kind of... Oh, enemy minions. Does it matter?
Oh, apparently enough for you to...
I kill them in 11 seconds. Oops, that one doesn't have quite the range. So you can see that's why you need to build multiple towers, is because they don't have the range.
Yeah.
They killed them, but they didn't get a bonus. So,
by the way, just totally random. I noticed that sometimes the map has like very random.
There's a naked elf on the high score screen.
Oh, good, and she's purple or he's purple. I don't know which. Anyway, you also got a trophy that says first, even though you might not have gotten
first. Also, the look around button doesn't quite fit in its frame.
Good.
Yeah.
So
the other thing that gets you points is it totals up how many squares you uncover. So basically, how many squares you dug.
I saw that. The effect of doing that was actually kind of cool, to be honest. Where it goes through and it
it's just a breadth first search for anyone who's done IT.
Yeah, I know, but it
would have looked cooler as a depth first.
Yeah. So what I would have asked, I guess, is I noticed that sometimes there's weird things that get uncovered. Are they just junk? Like they don't actually do anything? They're just there.
As far as I know, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I didn't really examine anything in this playthrough, but there's it'll be little comical items, like you'll uncover the skeleton of an animal, or if you zoom in, it'll be a little sign that says no digging allowed, or I don't know. There's various things like that. I think they're just there to add a little less tedium to the graphics.
I guess so.
My guesstimation there. Yeah.
Having signs inside mounds of dirt, though, is not quite sensical, but okay.
Well, the whole thing isn't sensical, because if it's like you're digging in mines, but then if you can launch a guy from a cannon, doesn't he just hit his head on the roof?
You would think.
Die? But that's not what happens in the game. I'm just saying.
It's magical teleporting cannons.
Yeah. So to wrap up, that's Dwarfs. I played it, I don't know, a couple hours. I learned the game. It takes probably 15 minutes to go through the tutorials and learn it. And I suppose if you're into that kind of game, you could probably play it forever and just try to compete on your high score. It's mostly multitasking is the game. I mean, the multitasking and managing your money is basically the two components of the game that are most important. So if you buy it, Rantis has a lot of complaints about the sound effect and the graphics, but if you find it cheap enough on sale or whatever,
just play it on mute. That's my only suggestion.
Or play it on, games like that, sometimes you can just mute anyway. It's like the sound effect doesn't really add much, except for you get those nice warnings when you uncover a cave, I guess, those are useful.
True.
Yeah. That's it.